Ooh, let's go back.
To spend a spring evening with 4-year-old Beck is to recall the joy and spontaneity of a game of tag with your big sister and new friends, of reminding Mommy that you want a dog by becoming one.
Spunky, silly, very, very tender.
Last fall, spunky, silly Beck became sick, lethargic, fever-filled Beck. Off to the pediatrician they went.
They knew our history.
Susanna Needham tried not to dwell on her history, but she was confronted by it when Beck was diagnosed with leukemia at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. The oncologist that night told her,
I have never seen 2 leukemias in one family. Like, this is in pediatrics.
Susanna's daughter, Piper, had been diagnosed with infantile leukemia at just 10 weeks old.
So she literally had the first 2 months of her life, and then she had a very short amount of time where they finished treatment and she relapsed the first time. In her entire life, she had maybe 4 months that she was not on some form of chemo, steroids, treatments, transplants, something to just obliterate the leukemia that was going crazy in her body.
Piper died before her 3rd birthday. Beck was born after Piper passed away. Eldest sister, 12-year-old Lindley, has been through far too much.
She was 4, of course, when Piper was diagnosed. She was 7 when Piper died, and she was 11 when her brother was diagnosed, and she just turned 12 in February. Her life has just been one thing after another. It's just such a cocktail of drugs.
And for Susanna, it's a parent's worst nightmare, times 2.
When you're fighting for your kid's life, you don't really have a lot of time to sit and think about it. Maybe it's something that we've contributed, that I've contributed. When you have 2, then you really are like, okay, what is, why? One's obscure, 2 is insane.
Beck has 3 more years of treatment, a journey Cure is making with the family.
So they just came alongside us from the beginning. We always say it's like a club you didn't want to belong to. Nobody signs up to it. Nobody's, well, I'm just going to have a child with cancer and that will be fun. But we do it, and there's a camaraderie that transcends what your circumstances are.
It seems impossible, but the person at this table with the sweetest face is a card shark.
Mom. No, I can't come.
And Audrey is here because a long time ago at Emory, her mother picked the cute boy as her chemistry lab partner.
I thought he was the cutest guy in the whole lab. I was like, it's chemistry, it's gonna be boring, so might as well pick somebody cute.
That lab pick led to marriage and a son and daughter. Jennifer and Ben DeShetler remember the night their life would change, Halloween 7 years ago, when then 5-year-old Audrey was trick-or-treating.
She kept complaining she had leg pains and her stomach hurts, and I thought, well, it's just Halloween, it's too much candy.
Her general pediatrician called me. He said, you better sit down. Within the next couple of days, they found out it was stage 4 neuroblastoma, so it was kind of the worst of what you could expect for a solid tumor. So it's at that point where you start feeling like you're in a bad dream.
The past 7 years have been filled with countless surgeries, chemo, stem cell transplants, vaccine trials. There have been times they thought they would lose her.
She got up to 108, 109 degree fevers, almost seizure-like conditions.
But Audrey, now in her 3rd remission, always fought.
A doctor told her that after the relapse that this disease would end her life. That being said, as parents, you can't give up. And there's always new things.
Forever changed by all she has had to endure, Audrey keeps fighting, even when it feels too hard.
But I try not to think about the negative. Sometimes I just don't, but sometimes I can push myself up to say I can do this.
She wants to help end suffering for other kids.
I want to be a pediatric robotic surgeon, but maybe a professor, to one day make a cure for all childhood cancer to just end.
Audrey's wish to grow up is one her parents are clinging to as well.
One of the teachers shared with me that Audrey wanted to be a pediatric oncology surgeon, and she said that one day Audrey will have a little girl on her lap and say, I know how it feels. I have went through this, and I have the cure, so we don't have to go through what I did, what I had to go through. And I'm holding that picture in my mind.
Day in and day out, Cure Childhood Cancer is alongside these families, working to save these precious children. They are the people we will love most in the years we have on this wonderful planet. Audrey deserves to become a pediatric robotic surgeon or professor. Lindley deserves not to lose another sibling. Beck deserves a dog, Mom. It's the small moments that make for a big, beautiful life.
Just to play with her, with her squeaky toys.
They never give up, and neither will we.